And a happy Sunday, Dodgers Nation. D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Quick reminder for all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout, where I give you my takes on all things Dodger baseball, and more importantly, you give me all your takes on Dodgers baseball down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day is 1. Should the Dodgers look to extend Trea Turner? And 2, give me your Trea Turner contract proposals. What is the highest you'd go from a dollar amount standpoint and years? Let me know down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So the big question today is, should the Dodgers look to extend Trea Turner if they can't re-sign Corey Seager? Yes, of course, it's possible they could re-sign both players, but in my opinion, I think it's unlikely. That's a lot of money for the left side of your infield, especially when you have some guys to pay in the coming years. Also, you want to maintain some level of financial flexibility, and if you lock up Corey Seager to an 8 to 10 year deal and Trea Turner to an 8 to 10 year deal, that would really lock the Dodgers up as far as contracts go and not give them a lot of flexibility if they want to make some moves. So yes, it's theoretically possible, but in my opinion, I think it's either or with both of these infielders. Now, the dream scenario would be for the Dodgers to sign Corey Seager and have him shift over to third base and then extend Trea Turner, and you have Trea Turner and Corey Seager as your shortstop and your third baseman of the future. Hopefully that would happen, but it doesn't seem like it's likely. But Trea Turner did discuss the idea of signing a long-term extension with the Dodgers with The Athletic. He told The Athletic, "For me, actions speak louder than words. I'm not going to worry about anything like an extension until there's something in front of me. I think this is a great franchise. Being on a team, part of a franchise that wants to win, not only this year, but for a long time, is very valuable and a lot of fun. I don't know if that will happen or won't happen, but like I said, I'm not going to waste my energy on guessing." So there's not too much to take away there, but I definitely think that it does sound like a guy that would be willing to discuss a long-term extension if it were offered to him. Just look what he says. He says, "I'm not going to worry about anything like an extension until there's something in front of me." So let's say the Dodgers don't re-sign Corey Seager. Well, put an extension in front of Trea Turner, and then you can start discussions and negotiations on a long-term deal. It also doesn't sound like he's the guy that wants to play on the East Coast that so many people said. It sounds to me that he likes being in LA. He said himself that this is a great franchise, and I think if you're the Los Angeles Dodgers and you strike out with Corey Seager, I think you have to seriously consider offering him the bag before the start of the 2022 season, a la what they did with Mookie Betts. But let's talk about some pros and cons of re-signing Trea Turner. Now, the major pro is he's an elite player. He's a great player. Since the start of the 2020 season, only Fernando Tatis Jr. has accrued more WAR than Trea Turner. Last year, he finished first in Major League Baseball in F-WAR at 6.9 WAR. If you look at his numbers, he won the batting title. He slashed .328, .375, .536, had a 142 WRC plus. He had 28 home runs. He had 77 RBIs, had 32 stolen bases. Now, the knock on him, of course, is in the postseason, he did not perform very well. In October, he slashed .216, .245, .255, had a 39 WRC plus. That K rate was at 22.6%, and that walk percentage was down to 1.9%. So a very different player from the regular season to the postseason. That is the big concern when it comes to Trea Turner. That is the con with Trea. In his postseason career, he's slashing .228, .274, .287, has a .561 OPS in 179 plate appearances. So that is a large chunk there. Make no mistake about it. He did hit .286 against the Dodgers in 2019 in the NLDS, and in the NLCS that year, he hit .294. But the slugging numbers aren't there. You're not seeing the extra base hits, the home runs. And this year, I think with Trea Turner, I think towards the end, he was a little burnt out because he was a massive difference maker for LA after the trade. The Dodgers were 65-44 when they made the move for Trea Turner and Max Scherzer. After they made that deal, the Dodgers go 41-12. And yes, Max Scherzer, he went 11-0 in his starts with LA in the regular season, but Trea Turner was in that lineup each and every day, and he made a huge difference. And I think one of the issues with Trea Turner is, one, I think like a lot of the players on the team, he ran out of gas at the end, and also, two, he was having to play second base. We know he wants to be a shortstop. We know he is a top-tier shortstop defensively, and he was having to relearn another position that year. Yes, he had played some second base in his career, and they didn't want to play center field with the Dodgers, and really that was the only option for him. And he did struggle at times, but it definitely was an experience for him to have to go through that. Then also, he goes from hitting leadoff to they're moving him up and down that lineup. You saw in the postseason, they were batting him in the 3-hole. Mookie Betts, he had success batting leadoff in the NLDS, but struggled in the CS. So I think moving forward, if you're the Dodgers and you do sign Trea Turner, I think ultimately, considering his speed, considering his bat-to-ball skills, considering his ability to get hits early in games, and that was an issue with the Dodgers last year in games that they struggled. That was getting on base early, finding a way to score first and strike first blood. Well, with Trea Turner in the lineup, you saw that difference, a 41-12 record down the stretch, and I think Trea Turner, he gets a lot of credit for that sparkling number. And I think when you're Trea Turner, if you are going to sign that extension, you have to have this conversation with the organization, because I think if Trea Turner hits leadoff for the entire postseason, I don't think his numbers are that bad. He's familiar with that spot. He wants to hit leadoff by everyone you talk to, and I think when it comes to Trea Turner, he's a guy that he's so electrifying out there on the base pass that he would be my leadoff hitter, my number one choice to be leadoff if he re-signed with LA. Because look, let's be honest, man, my man is Sonic the Hedgehog out there on the base paths. So in my opinion, if I'm the Dodgers, I try to get a deal done with Trea Turner. Now the next big question is, for how much? Because Trea Turner, he'll turn 29 on June 30th of next season, so he won't be entering the market in his free agency like guys like Corey Seager or Carlos Correa or Francisco Lindor. He's just a bit older, but I also think that top to bottom, he impacts the game in so many different ways that he's more valuable than a Francisco Lindor at this point in his career. I think that he's going to age better than a Carlos Correa. I think that Corey Seager will shift to third base. So will you pay premium money to a guy that is going to be a third baseman? Do you want to give $300 million to a third baseman that Corey Seager eventually will be? So I think Trea Turner, yes, he will be just a little bit older, but I do think he is a $300 million talent. Now, would I pay him $300 million? That's the big question. Yes, it's not my money, and he has been a durable player, but yes, those postseason issues are a concern, but I will tell you that before Corey Seager went into God mode in the 2020 postseason where he won the NLCS and World Series MVP, he was a career .203 hitter in October. Postseason success is fickle, and they can come around. So I'm not overly concerned with that. I still think that he can be a player that can produce in October. I think he's more marketable than Corey Seager. I think he has more star potential than Corey Seager as far as his speed on the base pass, the way he plays the game defensively. He's going to have an impact. And look, he is lightning. He's the fastest guy in Major League Baseball that's actually a really good player. So I think he brings that element to the game as well. And I think he's a player that the Dodgers should strongly consider locking up long term. Now, ideally, I would love to sign him for 8 years and anywhere from $240 to $260 million. That to me would be ideal. But considering how tremendous of a player Trea is, he's probably going to command more than that. Now, the Nationals, they offered him a 6-year, $100 million deal back in March of 2020, but I think that his stock has risen since then, and you're going to have to pay big if you want Trea Turner. But I think if he enters the market, he's going to get something around that number or higher. But I also think if you're the Dodgers too, imagine if Max Scherzer doesn't re-sign with LA and you get 1 year out of Trea Turner next season. That means you trade your two top prospects in Keibert Ruiz and Josiah Gray for a year and a half of Trea Turner and half a year of Max Scherzer, and then Max Scherzer wasn't able to go in Game 6 of the World Series. So you use that prospect capital to get these guys. I think at least one of them you have to really try to lock up long term. So to me, I think it comes down to what tier is he in. I think he's below the Fernando Tatis Jr. tier offensively, but just a little bit. I mean, FTJ is on a Hall of Fame track. Trea Turner just below that. But I think if you're talking about him in the conversation with guys like the Lindors, the Correas, the Stories, the Seagers, hey, I think you can make a case that Trea Turner is the best of the bunch when you look at his game all around. But let me know down below in the comment section, do you want to see the Dodgers extend Trea Turner? In my opinion, it's a no-brainer, but I want your takes down below. And also, give me your contract numbers. How much should the Dodgers offer him? Let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. Be sure to download the new Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users. For all latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to gearup.la. Some of the best Dodgers t-shirt designs in the game. You're going to find it right over there at www.gearup.la. For all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dodgers Dugout, where I give you my takes on Dodger baseball, and more importantly, you give me your takes on Dodger baseball down below in the comment section. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.